the Seed Business School Festival. And so we cover that as well. And now the meeting is being recorded. So for anyone else that wants to refer to this later, you'll have some the video to look at as well. Before we get started, we just wanted to take a chance for all of you to be able to introduce each other. We've just gone in alphabetical order of schools. Alessia, if you want to start off.
Sure. So, hi everyone. Yeah, I work for Guidance and Recruitment Office here at Bocconi University in Italy. I think I already met some of you around the world. My first time in Africa, so excited to join you soon.
Mark?
Mark John, Associate Director with GW School of Business here in DC. I think I've met one or two of you in the past on tour, so just excited to take part in the opportunity.
Wonderful. Christine?
Hi, I'm Christine Gadziak from the University of Illinois Urbana-Champaign, and I have been on several of these tours, including this one last year.
Thank you, Christine. Next, Erin?
Hi, everybody. Erin Long with Penn State. I'm the Managing Director for the Resident MBA and Specialty Master's programs here on campus.
Wonderful. Thank you, Erin. Lewis?
Hi everyone, Lewis Jackson from Alliance Manchester Business School, Manchester in the UK. Not my first time in Africa, but first time with Seed, so yeah, looking forward to it. And I've met a couple of you before as well. Thanks.
Excellent. Segan?
Hi everyone, I'm Segan with INSEAD. I look after the Masters in Management and MBA program, specifically focusing on Middle East, Africa, and the UK. I've been to Africa a couple of times, but this would be my first time with Seed looking. And I think I've met you in the UAE, Alicia, 2 years ago when Seed did their first Middle East tour. So looking forward to working with you all.
Wonderful. And last but no means least, Emily.
Hi everyone, my name is Emily Briley. I'm the head of admissions and recruitment at Cambridge Judge Business School in the UK. Yeah, first time traveling with Seed, so I look forward to traveling with you all.
Amazing. And just quickly to introduce our team as well, most of you I've had the pleasure to meet as well. So yeah, I lead strategy and product at Seed. And I'll pass over to my colleague Jojo he needs no introduction by now, but we'll pass over to him and then to Coyote as well.
Yes, I am annoyingly in their email almost every week. So, all right. So my name is Jojo Kwanzaa. I'm based in Accra, Ghana, and I look after Seed's operations in the Africa region. Pleased to meet all of you.
Wonderful. Coyote?
Hi everyone. Sorry, I'm struggling with my camera, but as soon as I fix it, you'll be able to see me. My name is Coyote. I work with the Seed team out of Africa. I'm based in Lagos, Nigeria, and I look forward to seeing everyone come October.
Amazing. All right. So what we're going to do today, the idea here is to familiarize you with everything that we do, get you a little bit of details on certain formats of the event and what you need to prepare for, and then have time for Q&A towards the end as well. So firstly, to kick off, this is the complete itinerary. Some of you are on parts of it, and I'll highlight that in just a minute. But otherwise, this is what, for the folks that are on the Seed campus tour, this is what you're all going through. The ones who are on the festivals, I'll line out where you're joining in as well. So for the folks that are starting with the campus tour, you arrive on the 16th or on the 15th if you're coming in slightly earlier as well. Your airport pickups are arranged for everybody, regardless of what format you're on right now. So we have your flight details. Our team will be in touch with you to share details of the driver. And when you arrive in Lagos, you will also have a protocol officer. We understand that coming into Nigeria sometimes can be tricky. So right off the bat, when you get off the flight, there'll be someone with your name waiting for you, and they'll help you through the airport and then get you to the hotel as well. You've also got armed security in Lagos. So when you come out, don't be alarmed. With the car, there's a security guy who'll be there. So you're in good hands coming up to the hotel. Following that, we have 2 days of campus visits in Lagos. So the 17th and the 18th, and some folks that, so now for the folks that are coming for the festivals, you arrive on the 18th most likely. And so on that day, we have a dinner with everybody, both for Campus Tour and for the festivals. And for the folks that have arrived earlier on the 16th, we've got a welcome dinner on the 16th as well. So we'll first catch up and then we'll meet everybody else on the 18th as well. The 19th is where we have, so 17th and 18th, there are campus visits. On the 19th, we have the fair component, which is the Seed Business School Festival. And now for the folks that went last year, you would have seen a much smaller version of this happening in Accra, where we had a student fair where we, all of you presented, we did the panel discussion, and then we had the fair as well. This year, we've decided to make it a much grander fair. So just to give you guys a quick number, at the moment, we have over 1,000 people registered in each of the 4 festivals. So there should be more than 300 plus attendees at each of those events at bare minimum. So we're really excited. This is also just setting your expectations to know how busy it's going to be as well. But yes, so we do the fair in Lagos on Saturday. We fly Saturday night to make it to Accra. It's a 1-hour flight, and we'll come to the flight details in just a minute. We run to the event on Sunday, the festival on Sunday, and I'll come on to the timings as well. So don't worry, we have the breakdown of the details of that too. On the 21st and 22nd, we've got campus visits in Accra for the folks that are on the campus tour. For the ones that are not, you've got Monday as a free day, Tuesday as the travel day. We are trying to also organize a visit to a test prep for the folks that are coming just for the MBA candidates. This is going to be a great way to engage some local partners as well. So we want to make sure you get more than just the event. And so where we can, we'll include some additional visits as well. But then there is the flight on the night of the 22nd, where we go from Accra to Nairobi. This is the night flight. We will check out late, so you don't have to worry, you have the room for the whole day. And then we arrive in the morning the next day in Nairobi. Again, that day is a rest day just because it's going to be super hectic traveling through the night. Thursday and Friday, we've got campus visits for the folks that are on the campus tour. And then Saturday, we go to Addis Ababa. So Wednesday is the event in Nairobi, Saturday is the event in Addis Ababa, and then everyone departs on Monday morning. Any questions about the schedule so far? I know this is a little bit of a change for some people, but majority of you have been aware of this. Any questions, please let us know, and we'll answer that now or later on in the presentation as well. Okay, we'll move ahead for now. So just firstly, talking through what the campus tour will look like for the folks that are going to the university visits as well. So we've got 9 visits in total across 3 in each city that we're in the first 3. So 3 in Lagos, 3 in Accra, 3 in Nairobi. Our view is to make sure that you are meeting final and pre-final year candidates on campus who are ready to apply for specialized master's programs particularly. At each campus, our time is going to be between 2.5 to 3 hours. The first 45 minutes is largely dedicated towards the networking with the host university leadership. Following that, we'll come to the student interaction part, where each of you will make a presentation, 3 to 4 minutes on average, followed by a 30-minute panel discussion. And then we'll have between 45 minutes to an hour to interact with the candidates on campus as well. So this will all be held. So the networking will happen most likely in the dean or the vice chancellor's office or a meeting room. And then the student event will happen in an auditorium or a room that they will set up for that. In terms of the campus tour, again, most of you that are going on the campus tour are well aware, but just to sort of reiterate as well, the idea of the time that we're curating for you to have with the leadership of the host universities is to explore potential partnership opportunities. Now, this may be where you could have something as simple as you want to have application fee waivers, progression agreements, or special scholarships, or you may want to dig a bit deeper in terms of the types of programs you may want, study abroad or exchange programs as well. So we don't prescribe to what you need to do. You have the opportunity to engage in whatever form. Our prerogative is to bring the people with the right mindset and interest on the table to be able to have an initial dialogue and then take it away to engage later on post these events as well. So each of you would have received or will receive a link to share your areas of interest for partnerships. This is for the folks that are on the campus tour. When we send you this, please fill that form briefly. That's just something that we use to put a one-page slide together for you when you meet the host university as well. That includes the types of partnerships you're interested in, as well as who's the point of contact at your institution, because we understand that not always the person going is going to be the decision maker on these agreements. So you have the opportunity to either put your name or put somebody who you'd like to be the prima facie for these engagements as well. Now, coming to the second part, which is the Business School Festival. This is where this year we have a focus on European schools in particular, and I'm excited to have Emily, Sagan, and Lewis specifically joining in for that as well. So just from a format perspective, again, similarly taking you guys through that. All events are approximately 4.5 hours, 4 to 4.5 hours. The idea is that initially there's registration for 30 minutes, followed by expert sessions. This is where if for all of you that I've spoken with, you remember there are 2 rooms. There's the prep stage and the career stage. So we're curating content that is helping candidates be more decisive about what will help them take that next step in their journey to an MBA or specialized master's. So there are some expert sessions initially being held in both those rooms. Following that, all of you will have an opportunity to have a school presentation. All of you will present for 4 minutes in total. And we'll come to some guidelines or tips that we have of how you can make the most of that presentation as well. Following that, all of you again will be on panel discussions. Again, I'll tell you a little bit more about the topics in just a minute. There are 2 topics that we will play around with depending on the city and the mix of schools as well. Then we have some expert workshops. So we've got folks who are talking about loans. We've got folks that are speaking about the GMAT or the GRE. So just helping candidates in that journey to get to business school. There's another concept called the golden ticket, which I'll again come to in a minute. But this is for candidates, and those candidates that have a golden ticket, there'll be a mixer that's running on that day as well for them, as well as they have dedicated time with you. So just as a concept, what is golden ticket? Our view is, and let me just scroll ahead to that first. Our view is to bring you more prepared candidates to the forefront. So if there are candidates that have already taken the test, be it the GMAT or GRE, have scored over a 600 or a 300 on the GRE, 600 on the GMAT Focus or 300 plus on the GRE, they have between 3 or 7 years of work experience, and they intend to start a program in 2025. So when a candidate matches at least 2 of those 3 criteria, and they have solid experience in the background in terms of the companies or the industries they come from, we give them what we call a golden ticket. The concept is around a golden ticket club. So it's a cohort of candidates that are more well prepared to pursue a program in a relatively shorter span of time in terms of preparation. What they get 30 minutes of exclusive time with you, which is what I was at when we were talking about the agenda. They get specific scholarships that we've put together for just these folks. So incentivizing them to move forward with their journey as well. They have a networking mixer amongst those candidates that are in a similar stage. They also get the free course. The course is a DIY course that we put together about how to get into business school, as well as they get additional coupons for discounts from several of our partners that are offering test preparation or loans to them as well. So these are just some benefits of folks that they get if they have a golden ticket with us. So running through this again, so there'll be the exclusive time that the folks that have the golden ticket will have with you. So that's 30 minutes. So on a weekday, it is from 3 to 3:30. Weekend, it's from 3 to 3:30. On a weekday, it's from 7 to 7:30. This is fundamentally the first 30 minutes when the fair is open. Following that, we open up the fair for an additional 90 minutes, which is for everybody. So in total, you're speaking to candidates for 2 hours, just as like a fair format. And then after the fair is closed, the candidates also have a networking mixer as well. In some cities, it's 30 minutes prior of closing. In some cities, it will be at the point of when we're closing the event as well. So just a little bit about the flow. Again, happy to answer any questions that any of you may have. I'm happy to pause here. Please feel free to ask if there's anything that you'd like to know. Good. I think that's good so far. All right, I'll move on to the next bit. Just talk about the key stages of the event. And again, most of you are familiar, but we wanted to take this opportunity to just bring it back as top of mind for you. We spoke in the previous slide about the presentations and the panel discussion. We also have something called the counseling bar. So our efforts are largely initiated towards helping candidates prepare better. So therefore, they're more ready to speak to you as well. And one of those initiatives that we've taken to help them is set up something called the counseling bar, where each of them that would like that help are able to go to that bar and meet experts who will guide them on their profile. So this becomes a 5-minute profile evaluation session for each candidate. At the end of this session, what they get is an understanding of which of the schools are most aligned to their ambitions and their profile from the ones that are attending. And that's how they come and meet you as well. Alongside the counseling bar, you've all also had the opportunity to contribute to the student guide. So the counselors are using the student guide in terms of the information that you're giving us to be able to help these students as well. So the guide is printed as well as distributed virtually. So the school profiles in particular are sent in advance, and then are a part of the guide as well that's printed and distributed on the day to all attendees that come in as well. I spoke about the expert sessions and the fair. So I think these are the 5 components of the of every business school festival that you will see happen during the tour. In terms of the prep stage and the career stage, there will be a presentation. I spoke about the expert session that happens at the forefront of the event. So here it's about how to ace the application to get into a top B school, which will be run by a leading local admissions consultant. Then we have a panel discussion, which is where you guys are involved. So it'll be one of the 2 topics. It's either aiming high, setting yourself apart as a top B school applicant, or it's about Masters versus MBA, choosing the right program as well. The reason we've kept the Masters versus MBA dialogue as well is because we understand that today candidates are more confused than ever. And so we want to help them through that dialogue of what might be the right fit for them and what are schools looking for in that purview as well. And then on the prep stage, the other session that's running is a GMAT session where they'll talk about how to crack the GMAT Focus Edition as well. So this will be with a local test prep partner in most cities. And I believe in Lagos, GMAC will themselves be there as well. In terms of the career stage, there's a group of candidates that come that are unsure what an MBA or a master's could do for them. So we bring on companies. So last year we had someone from McKinsey, someone from Google, someone from Unilever come and talk about why companies recruit MBA and specialized master's graduates from top B schools. These are either hiring folks that are in hiring roles or are in HR as a function. So they're able to bring in expertise on the topic as well as answer some questions from the candidates as well. Second, this is the panel where schools will be on that, where we talk about navigating post-MBA or master's careers opportunities. So all the 3 topics that we've mentioned about so far, you don't have to worry. We'll give you a sort of broad list of questions that that you can expect. Arguably, we want to make sure that this is authentic as a discussion, so not everything will be scripted to the T, but it gives you enough of a preparation scope that questions will come somewhere in the middle of all of this. So we'll give you all those questions in advance, hopefully by Friday this week or Monday of the following week. So you'll have time with that. And then lastly, on the prep stage will also be funding. We understand that in Africa, funding is a major challenge. So we've partnered with 2 companies across the region who'll present at each of those cities to help candidates prepare for their finances as well. Now, and we spoke about the golden ticket. So I hope at this stage, from a format, from what to expect at each of those events, be it the festivals or be it the campus tour, I hope everyone's got a decent gauge of what it looks like. Again, happy to pause and take any questions, if anything, at this point as well. All right. Moving forward, the candidates are also, so one of the other incentives that we've prepared for candidates is 3 students from the ones that have attended the tour will have an opportunity to make a visit to their dream school. There are certain parameters around which we're selecting this, but again, we are funding this entire exercise for the candidate. The idea is that they experience the school and the culture of the school. The only help that we would need if the candidate chooses to come to one of your schools is when they are on campus, just to have some time with them, either from someone in admissions or a current student, so they get a perspective from your lens as well. But their flights, their accommodation, their living, everything's covered from us in this instance. And the one thing I would mention is the winners would ideally be somebody who's applying to go into class in the 2025 intake. We spoke about the counseling bar and how we're trying to give personalized feedback to them, and the end point being, how do we get them with all the information required to start their application journey with you. Presentations. Now, I mentioned about each presentation being 4 minutes. Our purview, our thinking here is that, we've listed a small list of things that we believe candidates are interested to know more about. So a little bit about the history, a little bit about so here's a small template that we've put together. You don't have to follow it. This is just a guideline that is available, and we'll share this after this meeting as well. So a little bit of a description about the school, anything about the rankings that you want to talk about as well. What's life on campus like? What are the programs that you have on offer, that if you want to list them out? Then we talk about why the school. So here are 3 or 4 reasons, again, of why your school might be the right fit for the candidate. We then speak about scholarships as well as the application deadlines as well. Again, like I mentioned, this is just an idea that we're sharing with you. You're more than welcome to amend and adapt as you would like. We've seen schools with 15 slides do this in 4 minutes. We've seen schools with 1 slide do them in 4 minutes. So each one of you, we understand, will be different. So the choice will be yours. If you are offering application fee waivers, we would just recommend that have it in your presentation. It normally ends up helping candidates be aware of this as well. We will also ask you to share the process of the waiver if you are offering one. And the big reason for this is what we do is at the end of the tour, we put a document together for all schools that are traveling with us and share that document with the candidate. And it has the process for each of the schools that they want to apply to, if they want to avail the application fee waiver. Any thoughts around the presentation? Any questions? All good. Awesome. Next up is the guide. Again, all of you have seen this and are aware. You've all contributed to this as well. This is something that we'll distribute at all events. It'll have information from rankings to testing to how to choose a school, as well as the school profiles and funding as well. Very briefly about technology, and we will run when all of you arrive in Lagos. We will run a session to help you on how to use it. But just very briefly, every candidate that registers with us through the confirmation emails will receive a QR code, a ticket. The ticket has a QR code, which they would scan and check in with us when they're coming into the event. And then we will have you download an app called Accel Events. Some of you may have used Accel Events before. They're one of the largest event attendance apps in the world. So regardless if you've used it or not, we'll have you download it and we'll give you the login for that. You scan them. I mean, it's like any other event that you might have been at. Most of you have been at events, so I believe this would be relatively common. But it's scanning through the camera and recording their attendance and connection with you. And then within 48 hours after each event, we send you the list. The list will be one consolidated list, which will have all the registrants, all the attendees, as well as all the connections that you have, as well as another column for folks that attended your presentation. So what we've done is to ensure that you can track who attended your presentation and who you met at the event, they're tracked amongst two separate columns. So, for most companies, what they've done in the past where I've seen this is they've clubbed all of that together. We recognize that that's useful, but at the same time, that gives you very little insight about did the candidate come back and engage with you at the table as well. So we've kept the two as separate columns, and you will get to see that in the file that you get post-event as well. One thing we do differently is we don't share pre-event lists. We believe that for candidates, it becomes a little bit of a trauma point because they get emails from everybody in different ways and sometimes too many. So we try and avoid that pre-event. Post-event, you have access to the data and we are GDPR compliant. So every student is indicating that they are accepting to receive information from any school that is attending this event. So yeah, this hopefully gives you a little bit brief on the flow. And like I said, don't worry, we will run a small briefing pre-event and help you be set up through this as well. In most cases, we will also try and get you a helper on the day. We understand that these are going to be extremely busy events. So you will have a student helper who will help you scan more candidates that come to meet you as well. All right, moving on from technology to just some logistics. Again, this is all information that you already have from Jojo. But as an overview, in Lagos, we're going to be at the Lagos Marriott Hotel. In Accra, we're at the Accra Marriott. In Nairobi, we're at the Hyatt Regency Westlands. And in Addis Ababa, we're at the Hyatt Regency Addis Ababa from 26th to 28th. In terms of travel, most of it is happening through flights between cities. When we're going from Lagos to Accra, Accra to Nairobi, and Nairobi to Addis Ababa. There are certain campus visits, one of which is in Ibadan, which is a few hours away from Lagos. So there again, we will travel by bus, and all domestic internal travel, so to and fro from the airport, will be as a group in a larger vehicle as well. When you're coming in on the first day from the airport and leaving from the last city, you have individual cars booked out, but for the rest of it, we'll all be together. Now to the fun part, and I'm going to hand over to the guy who's best at this. Jojo, if you want to take over the social
activity. All right, thank you, Paras. Thank you, Paras. So I'm looking forward to welcoming all of you on, half of you on the 16th of October to the Lagos Marriott Hotel, where we'll have our welcome dinner that evening. But I also recognize the fact that between the 17th and the 18th, the remaining half of you will arrive in Lagos. So we're going to have two dinners. The second one will be with a live band. So you get a chance to listen to some African music, and I'll teach you a few African moves, I promise. I'm not the best dancer in the seed business, but I'm quite ahead of a few of them. So I'll teach you all the moves I know, and hopefully you take something back home with you. All right. And then whilst we're on the trip as well, we'll also explore some night music options, live band options as well, in Accra and also in Nairobi. And then what I know a lot of you are looking forward to, we'll do the African Safari at the Nairobi National Park, which is on Saturday, the 26th of October, before we head out to Addis Ababa. So come ready to meet a few lions, a few hippos. They even have alligators and crocodiles, gazelles, it's zebras. Yes, zebras, And I'm trying to remember all the things as well. There are cheetahs as well. So Nairobi National Park is interesting because the animals are living in their natural environment. There's no detention or they are not kept in captivity. So you see them in the natural environment, and our tour guides will always try to tease them out, and we'll go at a time when hopefully they are out feeding and you'll be able to see them in their natural habitat, living their best lives. All right, so that will be Nairobi, and then we head to Addis Ababa, and we'll close it off with our departure dinner or a farewell dinner. I recognize that quite a number of you will be leaving that very night, heading back home. So we'll arrange the dinner section that you'll be able to, all of us will be able to sit together, have a meal, and say proper goodbyes to each other. For those who are ending the trip in Nairobi as well, we'll have one more dinner after the campus event in Nairobi, so we can say proper goodbyes to you before you head home as well. Now, in order to ensure that you're as comfortable and as healthy as possible on the trip, let's know all your dietary restrictions, and we'll do our very best to accommodate all these so you can have a comfortable trip and the comfortable time while traveling with us. So I'll share this with you as well via email and also on our WhatsApp group. I'll talk about the WhatsApp group in a minute, so you can be able to fill this out in case you need to as well. All right, Paras? So one of the most effective means of communication on every SEED trip is through WhatsApp. These WhatsApp groups allow us to stay in touch real time, allow us to send updates as and when they happen. And it sort of becomes, even when tours are over, people stay on there and becomes sort of like a friendship family group. Let's see how this one goes. So Paras, let this stay on for a minute so people can scan the QR and join the WhatsApp group right away. The name of this group is Seed Africa Travelers. So Seed Africa Travelers F24. Okay, that was quick. So I see Emily, I see Louise. Okay. So a couple more people to join. Yes, I see Christina as well. And I see Emily. Yes. So we almost have everyone on there. Thank you very much.
And we'll send this link over WhatsApp again as well, over email again as well, so you have it in case you're not able to join at the moment. I also want to turn over to some of the folks that have traveled with us to share a little bit about their experience in the past. And I know I'm going to put someone on the spot, but Christine, if you'd like to just share a little bit about what it's been like previously in Africa, especially, I'm sure others would love to hear from you as well.
Let's see, a lot of very excited students in Africa. University visits are different than probably anywhere else I've ever gone in the world. In Africa, it's, I would say, the emphasis in some ways with the administrators, at least as much them telling us what they're about and a little bit less us telling what we're about. But it's a fun, wonderful place. People are really happy. A lot of people maybe will ask you for gifts at different times, so it's a really good idea to stay in groups. But Seed just puts everything together so well and makes it so much fun for us that you don't have to really worry about anything.
It's very kind, Christine. Yeah, no, I just wanted to make sure that you guys, one, get to hear from somebody who's done it, but also just, don't be afraid, because I know sometimes going to Africa can be overwhelming. You will have somebody with you at all times. If this is your first time going into the region, Jojo is I call him the human machine because there's no time of the day or night where he's not around or he doesn't know somebody in that city or country that's able to fix something if something's gone wrong. So with him and Coyote, we've set up an ecosystem that so far has never failed, and I hope it never will as well. But we're going to be with you all through, so please don't worry about anything. We've kept note of what each of you are looking for in terms of candidates as well. And we can confidently say we're very well prepared at this point for when you come into the region for that as well. Two last things before we go much further. One, I want to just make sure in terms of visas, everyone's well prepared. If you have any challenges, if you're doing an on-arrival with us and you've told us, that's all good. We've got everything organized for you and you'll hear from Jojo in due time. But if you haven't and you were applying by yourself, or if there are any challenges at all, please let us know. Up till 7 days before you're meant to travel, if you let us know, we'll be able to get you an on-arrival visa. So if you were trying to get it yourself and you don't get it till about 7 days, that's the moment when you pick up the phone to us and tell us, listen, we just want to get an on-arrival. So that's with visas. Just lastly, in terms of weather and prep, in terms of it is going to be relatively warm. So most days will be warm. So carry light to formal casual that you can wear either at the events or at the university visits as well. In the night, in a couple of cities, it might be slightly cooler than otherwise. So just a light jacket or a hoodie might be useful to have around as well. But apart from that, I think hopefully we've covered everything. Any questions that you guys have, we're more than happy to answer now or in coming days as and when things come up as well. But we'll open the floor to see if anyone has anything to say.
Paris, I did have one thing, just for clarification for arrival. I think you just said that somebody would help us through the airport in Lagos. Is that meaning like before the checkpoints and stuff, the passport control?
Correct. So as soon as you land, you come out of the flight. When you come towards the area, walking towards the visa counters, there'll be somebody there who will already spot you and be with you. In Nigeria, the largest challenge is coming through visa, coming through the immigration point. So we've got the protocol officer that'll help you through it. So all you need to do is, one, if you're doing it on arrival, sometimes it may take a little time for them to process it on the day. So it can take between 1 or 2 hours. So just be prepared for that. But anything apart from that, the protocol officer will be around to help you through that point till the time. So from the point where you meet them, once you're off the aircraft, till the time they drop you to the driver outside where the car will be waiting with you. So they're going to be with you throughout.
Thank you. I've just been told it's challenging sometimes just to get through that. So that helps. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. Anything else? Cool. Jojo?
Yep.
Is there anything to add?
No, I think I look forward to seeing everyone in a couple of weeks' time. I just wanted to touch a little bit more on what Para said. So between West Africa and East Africa, the temperatures might switch, not dramatically, but just make sure you have a light jacket for East African evenings, just so you are prepared. And in the travel guide that we have sent earlier, there's a mention about making sure you travel with all your required medications. So I'm just reminding all of you again that if there are prescriptions or medications that you are required to have, just make sure your doctor stocks you up before you leave home as well. And mind you, Nairobi and Addis Ababa are both high altitudes, so people tend to react to that sometimes. So it'll be good that preparation for the trip as well. If you've had high altitude issues in times past, you speak to your doctor and get some supporting medication for that as well before you travel. Just wanted to touch on these so we're all prepared. I'll send that in an email as well so you don't forget.
Should we be worrying about monkeypox at all?
No, no. So,
Okay.
so monkeypox, there really isn't a challenge with monkeypox now. There was an outbreak in Nigeria a couple of months back that they've dealt with quite considerably. And since then, we've already done one trip in Nigeria already, and we had no issues with that. However,
Awesome.
in terms of in that along that same line, I'll remind everyone as well to ensure that you're carrying your yellow fever inoculation card that bears your name. So it's possible that you may not have one today, but between Lagos Airport and Accra Airport, that usually comes up for inspection as well. So I'll send all these things in my notes. I'll send you medical notes so you do not miss anything that will be required at airports for you to go through smoothly.
All right. With that, big thank you to everyone for being here. And like we've said, if there's anything at all that comes up through this time of coming on tour with us, just drop us a message and we'll be happy to help as well. All right. Well, thanks everyone for joining today. Looking forward to seeing you all soon.
Thank you, Jojo. Thank you, Paris.
Oh,
Thanks
thanks,
both.
everyone.
Thanks.
All right. See you.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.